It's a new day. That truck is actually having oil pressure issues, and the other truck blew an airbag or something last night, and it's having more problems. So today, we'll probably be running one truck for most of the day. But that's just how it goes sometimes. More of the same has been going on today. It did start snowing, but we are going to shut down because the roads are pretty bad. Not pretty bad, they're just less than ideal. It's never fun to truck in the snow, and it's getting pretty slick. So, after these loads, we're done for the day. We do have to do moisture tests on these last loads, and then we'll be wrapped up. I'll show you guys what we do for a moisture test. That's why we're gonna moisture test. That came out of all three hoppers. There's Ross with the last load of the day. I don't know where he's going. Unloading Casey right now. Doug is gonna come back and finish unloading Casey. I'm gonna go start moisture sampling. Casey's supposed to be pulling a bucket. Oh! Dip in there with that, get a little bit, and then they're gonna do that with all three because he has a back hopper. And then I'll keep moisture sampling those while the boys keep unloading. After the boys are all unloaded, we'll pull this auger out for the weekend and probably just pull it forward a little bit, but that'll be a wrap on the day. So when we moisture test, this is our setup. This is just the moisture tester that we have, that we're fortunate enough to have. Power button, yada yada. It's really cut and dry. The sunflowers go in there, they go, and then they come out there. And then it tells you a moisture on the screen. This is Doug's, probably mix it up a little bit, but there we go. While that is turning on, I'm gonna do this over a trash can because I'm clumsy. That is wheat. I don't think it matters though, because it's the trash bin. Don't throw this away quite yet because you could need another sample. Ooh. Good morning to you too. It's still turning on. So after all this turns on, analyze. Hello. Sunflower. Please fill hopper. Those are 9% moisture. Nice. And the second. 8.8. It is Monday morning, and you'll never guess, but winter has arrived in North Dakota, and it's snowing. It's not a lot of snow, but it's enough to be annoying. We are going to continue as normal today with extracting flowers. So hopefully no one gets stuck and no one goes off the road. We'll see. I requested Matt's assistance again today to stab this bin. So he's gonna be here soon, but in the meantime, I'm gonna get everything started up, check the oil, take the lid off the bin, well, at least open it, and yeah, hopefully all goes well. right after we got the bin stabbed, Matt went up there to check it. The moisture probe came out again. And it's already to the point that we cannot crawl safely in that bin and fully push it back down into the center. It needs to be in the center for long-term storage, but we're gonna take 2 loads out of the bin because we have 2 empty trucks sitting here. Ross is still full, but we're gonna try to take 2 loads out. That'll suck the moisture probe back down in the center, and then if that doesn't do it, I guess we'll check it after we pull those loads out, and then we'll load slowly with that auger back into the bin, because if we load too fast, all of that motion from the flowers will knock that probe back out again. So that is the plan. We'll see if it works. Plan B is to start loading in a different bin, empty this one out for the most part, enough to put that moisture probe back in and attach it, and then start refilling it. But ooh, and it's icy. Also, the brakes on this are froze. Doug's truck couldn't build air up, but now it's good to go. Ay, ay, ay. And now Douglas's brakes are froze. That one got out though. Let's see if he goes anywhere. Uh-oh. Oh, maybe. We ended up only taking 1 truckload out. I'll show you guys a video of what Matt saw when he climbed on top of the bin with that moisture probe going down in. And now we're gonna unload that truck, Ross's truck, and then hopefully we won't have any more problems today, but I doubt it because it's snowing and it's cold. I also bought these muck boots that are supposed to be weatherproof up to -20 degrees, and so far my feet are calling that a lie because they're cold. But the rest of me is also cold, and I have poor circulation, I think. It's also 10 o'clock in the morning, so the day's like half over already because the sun sets at 4. Can't really see that, but we're unloading at about half the speed we normally go at, just to make sure that that probe doesn't get knocked back out. After I unload Ross, I'll go and check that probe again, and then we should be good to go as long as we take it slow the next couple trucks. Now that we have put 1 truck load into the bin, I'm gonna climb to the top and then see if that probe is still where it should be. If it's not, we're gonna have another problem. This is something I definitely do not enjoy. Just because it's snowy and icy, I've got a death grip on the railing. So it's in there. Hopefully it stays in there. This electric hopper is not working, so that pup is still full. Just gonna bring it back to the shop and see what's wrong with it. I'll probably go check the top of the bin again to make sure that probe is where it should be. Lights are on. The sun is going down. You can kind of see that pink tint on the bins over there. The boys are gonna run back for one more load off the bag, and then Tristan said that will finish the bag. So I don't think we'll dump those tonight because we do not have a lot of great lighting options at the bin site. And with dark flowers and unloading pups, it just turns into a big mess. So after these couple loads, I think we'll probably be done for the day. It's only 4 o'clock, but like I said, can't do much when it's dark outside. All right, we did 13 unloads today between all the problems that we had and all that stuff. So that's pretty good considering we had all the frozen brakes and the bin trouble this morning, and then one of the trucks was MIA the rest of the day because the pup wasn't working. So between basically 3 trucks, we got 13 loads on the bag site. It's about an hour round trip for those guys. So more to come tomorrow. We're almost to the top of that bin. That's something I'll have to keep an eye on tomorrow. And we're done with the bags at that bag site. We have another bag site that we're moving to in the morning. One thing we do have to be mindful of is that these hydraulics like to settle. So that is getting pretty close to the top of that bin. I need to raise it so that we don't have problems. So you're gonna open this valve and just raise that auger up so that when the auger starts rolling with more weight in it, that auger's not coming down and banging on the top of the bin because that ruins it. That is much more better. Now you can close that. Just dumped the first load out of the new bag. We're gonna do moisture tests again since we're in a new bag, and then probably in about 3 or 4 loads we will switch bins because that's almost at the top. So that's where we're at with the day, and it is 10:55. Since Matt told me there was 7 trucks left-ish of space left in the bin, I've had 2 tandems, a truck with a pup, and then a triple axle with a back hopper. So I'm gonna go check this bin again and see what the space is looking like. We might be able to fit 1 or 2 more trucks in there. I guess we shall see. I'm glad I came and checked it because it looks like we're full. There we go. There might be 1 more truckload left in this, but that looks full enough to me. We are switching bins. That means we need to check the moisture probe in the new bin, open the lid. Matt came back again to take that auger out, which I can't take the auger out, but he came back to check it anyways. He came back to check the bin anyway, and then we decided that we just needed to switch it. So I'm gonna check the moisture probe in the new bin and open the lid. There's the moisture probe. I think that'll stay in. We're gonna have to check it, but this is the bin that we just got done sweeping out with wheat last week. And when I was unrolling the cable up there, it broke. So I'm gonna have to check that out. All right, it is stabbed. We'll see how that loads. I'm gonna keep checking on it to make sure we don't have another moisture probe problem. And then we should be good to go. There, this bin needs to be closed. Ooh. Okay, I think that's good. You can't even see in there right now, but it's not perfectly center. It's gonna have to do. It's all about the angles. It's about to start snowing. We don't know how much we're gonna get. We also don't know when it's gonna get windy. So the debacle we're having right now is if we should pull the auger out of the bin because of the wind, because when it starts gusting winds like 30 miles an hour, we don't like to leave the augers up because it can rip right through them. But it's not supposed to get windy until 11 a.m. tomorrow. So we also have to decide if we're hauling tomorrow. Like, you always have to go until you can't, but sometimes it doesn't pay to fire things up for an hour, especially when the bag is more than an hour away round trip. So we're deciding if we need to pull the auger out or not, because if we do, Matt has to come and close the lid on the top of that bin because I do not like crawling up there. It's also snowing, so I don't want to crawl up there. There's just a lot to take into consideration when you shut down for the night. Matt called the boss man and we are going to pull it out tonight. So that means Matt is on his way to close the lid, because that lid is not spring loaded. So when I pulled the cable earlier, it didn't come loose because it's broken. It came loose because that's just the way that that lid is. So every time we close it, we have to crawl up to the top of the bin, shut it manually rather than using the cable, which is a pain in the butt. Just got to plug this one in. We'll be good to go. So due to tractor problems at the bin site, as well as some of the supports on the auger that's at the bin site snapping, we are switching out the tractor and the auger so we can get that tractor and the auger fixed, hopefully. So we're pulling the 9RX and a different auger over there. The 9RX that we're pulling over there is what Tristan uses to seed in the spring, and other than that, it just gets used on augers. So because of the wind though, I don't know how long we're going to be transferring flowers because flowers are so light. During harvest it was the same thing. There was one morning it was super windy. Tristan said to meet at the combines later, and then the wind died down a little bit, but today the wind is picking up through the day, so we're just going to see how long we can go before they call it, and that's how that works. There's some of the wind. So the problem with the wind isn't necessarily that it's just windy. It also makes the road conditions worse. Like, you're not seeing that right now, but it's gonna ice over and blow snow over these roads, and then it's also gonna blow flowers everywhere. So it's just smarter to sit it out a day, go do something else at the shop while it's windy. It's one of those, wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for the wind days. That is what we mean by snap supports. So there's 5 of those. Since we switched tractors, oh, my face is so cold it hurts to talk, and augers, this auger does not have a remote for the auger, the unloading auger, which the remote is super handy when you need to move stuff quick, or when the truck driver is unloading and you got to move that around. Like, the truck driver doesn't have to worry about opening his traps and moving the auger at the same time. So since we don't have an auger, and this tractor has an automatic PTO shut off when you exit the seat, I have to stay in here and they just have to move the unloading auger themselves, which isn't a big deal, but the handle for that auger is a little far up, so if you don't have a remote, it can be a little bit of a pain. But it is literally so cold and the wind is blowing so bad, I think we're gonna shut down anyways after like one more truck. And it's only 9:30 in the morning. This was a very bad day to not wear coveralls. We are done for the day because of the wind. Trucks are getting plugged back in. So we're gonna go occupy ourselves at the shop. Douglas said there's a care package for me. Goldfish and gator lights. During harvest, I brought a whole box of goldfish and I sat them in my tractor. It was so funny. Doug is the one that calls me beanbag on the radio because I bought a beanbag during harvest and was making jokes about how it was a real adult purchase. And so Doug is also the one that makes cutouts for it. He's just a good guy to work with. So thank you for the treats, Duggo. Look at the flows. I guess you can't even see the floor. Oh yeah, this is gross. Like, yuck. That's not even doing anything. Trucks are washed. Everything else is kind of tidied up for the day. The wind is supposed to blow pretty good tomorrow as well, so we'll see how that goes. Will probably be it for the day when it comes to filming. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, if you haven't already